Now continuing on with the navigational part within the Mac OS X, we'll look into Mission Control. Now Mission Control is an application that allows you to manage multiple windows within your Mac environment. Now to start off with, we'll open a couple of applications like our Safari browser, our Contacts application, as well as our Calendars application, and we will utilize our Mission Control. Now to open our Mission Control, which is not located on our dock, we'll simply access it through our Spotlight search. So now if I go into my Spotlight search, I can simply type in Mission Control, and as we looked at earlier, we haven't completed the whole Mission Control word, but yet it appears within my Spotlight search, and I can simply click on the application, which will then flare out my windows separate from each other, and I can simply select any of the windows to bring it to the forefront. So if I select my Safari this time around, it will bring my Safari to the forefront. I can also utilize the shortcut key to make it easier for me to jump from one window to the next with the use of Mission Control, and the shortcut key is F3. So if I tap on my F3 key, it will go into Mission Control, and I can then bring my calendars back to the front, and I can press my F3 again and bring my contacts to the front, F3 again to bring back to my Safari browser. So I can easily jump from one window to the next without me moving any of the windows around to get to the window in the background. I can simply just press my F3 to bring any of the windows to the forefront. Now there's additional functions that's built into my Mission Control, which is if I go to into my Mission Control, I can see that I've got my one work surface, which is my desktop, as well as another tool that is built within the Mac called Dashboard, which we'll look at at a later stage. I can simply move this also around to the left-hand side, and I can add in additional desktops by just moving my mouse pointer to the right-hand corner, and when I move it to the right-hand corner, a plus will appear. And once I click on the plus, a new desktop will be added. Now what the new desktop will allow me to do is I can simply move an application into that one desktop, which will then allow that application to only utilize that particular desktop. It's basically allowing you to have multiple work surfaces. So if I go back into my desktop 1 by either clicking on the desktop 1 option at the top, or simply clicking on any of the windows, I will be in my desktop 1. So now the application that I moved to desktop 2 was my calendars application. So if I should click on my calendars icon, it will jump to desktop 2, as the calendars now reside in desktop 2. So I can easily jump from one desktop to the next with the use of making multiple desktops and moving those applications within those desktops. It kind of saves on the loading time as well, especially with larger applications. So now if I press my F3 button again to get to my Mission Control, I can now close down the desktop 2 if it's not needed, or I can simply move that application back to desktop 1 if I prefer to have it only opening in one desktop. So to close down my desktop 2, I simply skim my mouse pointer over desktop 2. The close button will appear at the top left hand corner of that desktop, and all my windows will then revert to desktop 1 as desktop 2 has been closed down. Note that desktop 1 cannot close down, as the Mac at least needs one desktop to operate. Now further on, we can also utilize the full screen apps with the Mission Control. Now, as stated in the previous movie, to push our application to full screen mode, I simply click on the two arrows in the top right hand corner of that window, which will then push it to full screen option. Now, when it is in full screen mode, I can simply tap on the F3 key, and we can see that that full screen app was now promoted or moved up to the same level as the desktop. So now this time around, if I jump back to the desktop by clicking on the application or even on the window I will then be found back into desktop 1. If I click on the Safari browser, which is in full screen mode, it will jump to the Safari browser, which is then in a separate full screen option, which is stated by pressing on my F3 key or mission control. It is stated at the same level as my desktop. So now we can see we can jump from one desktop to the other by just creating new desktops within Mission Control, or even utilizing our full screen apps. We can navigate ourselves easily to our normal desktop, or just revert everything in one desktop in window mode. Another good method to use with my Mission Control is managing multiple windows within one application. To start off, we'll open additional windows within our Safari browser. So I'll go to my File, Add New Window, go to File again, and add an additional window as well. So now I've got 3 windows running within my Safari browser. Now if I tap on my F3 key or simply click on my Mission Control application, if it is available on the dock, it will then open my Mission Control. Now within my Mission Control, I can see that the 3 windows are opened on top of one another, which is a result that I don't want at this point, as I want to see all windows separated within my Mission Control. Now this means I need to change a setting within my Mission Control, and the setting is found within my System Preferences, which is located in the Apple menu. And within my System Preferences, I select the Mission Control preference. And within my Mission Control preferences, I can simply untick the Group Windows by Application option. There are other preferences available as well, but the most essential one that can be very useful is the Grouping Windows by Application option. So if I untick this option, I'm just going to close down my Mission Control preferences, and I tap my F3 again or go into Mission Control, I'll see that this time around all the windows automatically have come up separated, which means I can simply maneuver my way from one window within the same application to a different window within the same application without moving or readjusting my windows. This makes navigations within the Mac much easier than just the conventional way of utilizing your windows. Next up, we'll look at Dashboard, which also comes included within the navigational structure of our Mac OS X.